All right. Welcome to Off the Rail Sports Podcast.
Yes.
I am
Cheers.
here. I am John. I am having a shot to commemorate being with the smartest guy in all of baseball, Brian. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing good. I'm not having any shots though.
You should the week the Red Sox have been
I'm
having.
I'm 3.5 cups of coffee down, so
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, you're ready to rock and roll, huh?
Yep.
Let us try and delve into the mess that is the Red Sox organization. It's kind of like trying to get an update on what's going on with the Kardashians. Um, Willer Abreu got injured, so finally we bring up the super number one prospect in all of baseball, Roman Anthony. He made his debut yesterday, went 0 for 4, had an RBI, had an error. Um, a semi-solid debut. Let's start with where do we put him on the roster, Brian? Where do we play this guy?
Uh, I would say so. From what I understand, he has ventured through the outfield this season in AAA, all three different positions. So if I'm the Red Sox, I'm Alex Cora, and I'm filling out my lineup card. I'm going to put him in left field.
Okay.
I'm going to move I'm going to move Jaron Duran to center field, even though Rafaela is a better defensive center fielder.
Okay. You want the bat in the lineup.
I want the bat in the line. Well, I'm not taking Rafaela off the field, though.
Okay.
I'm going to move him down to shortstop
Oh,
because he has
Trevor Story's going to the bench.
Trevor Story is going to move over and play first base, that empty hole vessel that
Okay.
they've had all season because it was even a hole in a vessel of nothingness when Tristan Casas was there, hitting
Right.
140. Because I think Trevor Story is athletic enough, experienced enough, a solid enough major leaguer that he can transition and play first base, and he'll do just fine. Is he going to win the Gold Glove there? No. Is he going to make enough plays to be solid? Yes. And then in right field, you'll have Abreu. He's on the IL right now for a few days, so you got Ref Snyder to play out there, and that's how I would fill out the lineup card if I was in Alex Cora's shoes. Well,
You know,
I guess he probably has to clear it all though with Breslow.
oh, of course he does. First of all, I'm going to admonish you. We are not going to talk about transitioning on this podcast, okay? We know that's a big political issue these days. But okay, I think it does apply to Trevor Story. We only have 2 more years to pay him. It's another $60 million. That's okay. Uh, I think that's a great idea, actually. I don't know how good Rafael is going to be at shortstop, but, why do you think it took them so long to bring Roman Anthony up?
Because they're just trying to jerk the guy and manipulate his service time, which
Yeah,
to me is a whole, and we've seen this happen with a million different guys, right?
yeah.
Uh, in recent years. And to me,
Yes.
it's the stupidest thing ever because if you got the guy for a limited amount of time, what is it, 5 years, 6 years, whatever it is,
6 years. 6 years.
why put off that 6 years? It's still the same amount of time. If he's ready now, bring him up now. What do
Well,
you
I mean, look,
benefit by not using him now and then using him later? What's the point? It's still the
well, I
same
think
amount of time.
that's true, but I mean, I think he's better. I think he'll be better if he has a half a year of seasoning. I agree with you. First of all, let's make no equivocation. The Red Sox, this is all a manipulation of service time. Absolutely unequivocally correct, Brian. Something I did on research for this show. Yeah, hey Brian, I'm more than a pretty face. I actually do some research here. Is
God.
players, I was wondering why are they taking so long to bring him up, right? Service time. But the bigger thing is you get an automatic year of service time if you come in first or second for rookie of the year. So I think they waited long enough so he can't accumulate enough stats, quote unquote, to get in the first or second slot for rookie of the year and get it, so they can jerk him around literally for the full year, right? They don't think Meyer, they don't think anybody else is going to be in the rookie of the year category for them, right?
Awesome. So,
Oh yeah,
and then you run into the situation where what the Cubs did with Chris Bryant, right?
right,
Now, now, he hasn't turned out to be, a perennial all-star type player or anything like that. He had a great first 3 or 4 years, right?
right.
But the Cubs, by jerking him around, they ruined any chances they had of signing him long term.
Well, Brian, what you're explaining isn't that exactly what played out with Mookie Betts? They kept thinking they were going to get him to get a discount, and he said, "No, I want full market value." What he perceived, right? And then
Yes,
they
but that
finally got
wasn't
to the
that
point.
was
What's that?
yeah, but that was never due to they jerked him around in the beginning. That was just they
You're
didn't
right.
want to pay him
Okay,
once he was
all right,
established.
fair enough.
But this
Correct.
is like setting a precedent. Well, like this is going to be something him and maybe his parents or his agent or whatever are probably going to keep in the back of their mind when they're wanting to come to him with a team friendly sweetheart deal like Rafaela signed and Christian Campbell signed.
Right.
He might be saying, "Nah, dude," because
I mean,
you kept.
do you think they've come at Roman Anthony with the deal like Milwaukee did for Churio, 8 year, $100 million? Do you think they've done that?
They might try to, but I mean, it would be smart to do stuff like that. But Red Sox don't do a lot of smart stuff. I mean, they extended Christian Campbell, they
Yes.
extended Rafaela last year, Brian Bello last year. But
Bello.
I mean, let's face it, those three guys are just average guys. Yeah, they're
Well, you're
an
right. They are
I
average
lost you for a
guys,
minute.
but I mean, think about it. Bello, they got the guy on a five. Okay. They got Bello on a 5 year, $50 million deal, which even if he's a number four starter, that's a deal. And he is a number three or four
Perhaps.
starter, right? I mean, well,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. A number
Listen,
four starter's going for 12, $13 million a year. I mean, as outlandish as
what
it
are they
is.
what are they paying Giolito?
Oh, geez. And he can opt out after this year. He goes tonight.
Thank
He
God.
goes tonight.
Thank
Let's see
God.
how he gets.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to get lit up
He's
tonight.
taking his 6.7 ERA to the bump tonight.
Yes, he is. You watched that game
Yeah,
yesterday? You know,
I
it,
did.
it was a typical Red Sox game. They're down 7-5, and I said to myself, I know they're going to bloody tie this game in regulation, and then they're going to lose an extra innings. And lo and behold, what happens? Hey, Roman Anthony, pick up the ball. Jesus criminy, welcome to the big leagues. Oy, oy vey, oy vey. How are we fourth in that division? How? How is that
Because the
possible?
Orioles are so bad.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But we're closing that gap.
Yes, we are. They're only 4 games back. All right. Well, you know what? I don't know if you happen to see, but the Dodgers opened a series with the Padres yesterday, and that was two teams fighting for everything. They literally had softball pitchers on the mound, but boy, that was just a really, really great game. I think in the West, do you think the Giants, along with the Padres, I think the Arizona Diamondbacks have got a problem, especially with Corbin Burns out for a year and a half. Do you think the Giants and Padres are going to be a challenge to the Dodgers to win that division, Brian?
I do think they're going to, yes. I mean, look at the Dodgers. They just lost 2 games to the Cardinals, right?
Yeah.
The Dodgers aren't running away with anything.
No.
And the Padres and the Giants, they're good, respectable teams. They're hanging close so far, and I expect them to stay close throughout the season. Of course, this all plays, you know, something major can't happen to either team, but guys are going to get hurt, stuff like that. But
Well,
yeah, it's gonna stay a fairly close 3-team race. with the advantage going to the Dodgers.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, some of the stats that kind of jump out at me is the Dodgers are only 17 and 16 on the road, right? And that kind of really surprises me. I thought they'd be a little more formidable. Like the Cubs are 20 and 15 on the road. You know, if you would have said who's going to have the better road record, I don't think many people would have picked Chicago. I don't know. Just seems like, hey, but 500 on the road is still a winning recipe, right?
Yes, it is.
You know,
If you
let's
win
see.
500 on the road, you should have a solid
Yeah, we're
winning record.
15 and 19 on the road. We're stellar 17 and 17 at home. We're killing it, Brian. We are killing it. All right, let's talk about some stats. Um, Aaron Judge, what do you think his chances are legitimately of getting the Triple Crown this year in the American League?
Uh, I'd say
Okay,
they're
he's hitting 396 right now.
right.
Okay, his home runs, he's second. He's got 23. Cal Raleigh of the Mariners is first. And runs batted in, he is third behind Devers and Alonso.
Alonso's in the NL,
Yeah, you're right. So he's just
so
behind Devers,
so
correct? Sorry, bad.
American League Triple Crown. I'm gonna say it's. I'm gonna put it at 67%, and the reason I say that is I think there's no doubt that he's going to win the batting crown and the home run
Right?
crown. The RBI one will be tough. That'll be a
Sure.
tougher one to hold up with
I agree.
because
I
Cal
agree.
Raleigh's gonna just the fact that he's a catcher, and as the summer gets hotter and the days get longer, uh, the catcher's probably going to have to take a few more extra days off here and there, and that'll give Judge will just have the more at bats, I think.
Well, I think the big problem for Cal Raleigh, I think you're right, but I think the real big problem for Cal Raleigh is he plays in Seattle. And that marine layer that comes in at night, the same problem they have in San Francisco, it's harder to hit home runs at night. The air's a little thicker. It's not like,
Yeah,
Sacramento or whatever. They don't have too much of that marine layer going on in New York. They just got crime there, Brian. You may not know about that, okay? It's all been taken care of. It seems
yeah,
like if I'm looking at the hit leaders, Aaron Judge has got 95 hits. What did you think about that rookie for Boston, Dobbins, kind of flicking the switch at Aaron Judge the other day?
I think that guy's an idiot.
I love it. I love it, man.
Now,
Stick him
also
in the eye.
this rookie coming up,
Yep.
and he had this quote that I just freaking thought was totally hilarious, where he says, "If the only," I might butcher the quote, but the gist of it was, "If the only team I had a chance to play for was the Yankees, I'd retire." Okay,
you
you're a
know,
rookie, right? So you're going to go be a freaking car salesman instead of playing for the Yankees. What an idiot.
I gotta tell you, Brian, I gotta tell you, I love I love those players, and that is in the glorious vein of Ken Griffey Jr. saying he'd never play for the Yankees, or Vlad
Right.
Guerrero Jr. saying he'd never. Anybody who can says they are not going to join the evil empire, they're cool by me. Okay, I don't care. I can get a GoFundMe going for that kid. God bless him, right? All right. Crochet's going on the mound tonight against the
No,
Tampa Bay
Giolito's
Rays.
going tonight.
Oh yeah, you're
Giolito's
right.
going tonight.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
get that. See if we can get that ERA up to 7. Six
Well,
point 6.7 is not good enough.
don't we have to start with a 5 run or 6 run hole before we really get going? Isn't that
They
just what our
will.
team MO is?
They will.
I'm not telling you. I'm telling you right now. Is there anything else going on in baseball you want to talk about, Brian?
Yes, I am going to tell you that unfortunately for them, but I'm just a spectator, right?
Okay.
Unfortunately for them, the Atlanta Braves are done for the year.
Yeah, I think you're
Uh,
right.
they they had that terrible start, uh, and then they were able to somehow, get back up to 500 for a short period of time. They had Uh, Acuna come back off the IL, Strider come back off the IL, and it hasn't really helped. They haven't got it together. They've fallen back down like another 7 game losing streak or whatever. They're not going to get it back, so they're done.
They
I'm also
literally
going to
had one.
say,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm also going to say the Diamondbacks are uh, they're going to fall off in the West. They're not going to compete. The loss of Burns is going to. I mean, he's only pitches, every 5 days, but still, that's going to be something that catches up with them, and they're
yeah,
they're just not going to be able to keep up with the Giants, Padres, and Dodgers.
yeah. I think
And
I think the Braves had
I'm
about
so
as brutal of a week as you could have. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and I'll say I'm a little surprised and good for them, but that the Mets are holding their own the way they have so far.
I I have to say absolutely, and especially in that media market with Juan Soto struggling for the first third of the year. He seems like he's starting to emerge from his king tut coffin. But hey, you're only paying the guy $760 million. You don't expect him to hit over 250, do you? But you know, I don't understand, and show me the receipts, how that pitching staff is doing so bloody well, and they are obviously doing very well.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
they're getting it done. They
they're good.
even they even swept the Rockies.
That is amazing. I'm going to have to look into that story because I'm not really sure how the Rockies are doing. But you know what? I'm going to give you a number on the Rockies. Let me run differential. You understand this. The Athletics are a minus 118. Obviously, they're being outscored by 118. Let's get to the Rockies, and that number is 198. They they are on track for almost 570 runs to be outscored by. I mean, if you remember Moneyball back in the day, we have to score. What did he say? 900 runs to win those.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. And I don't think Podesta is over there in Colorado because man, I saw that their tickets are only $8. Maybe that's how they're pulling in so many people, right?
Hey,
Hey,
if
whatever.
they're getting the people in there and they're buying their cheap beers, the beer prices in Colorado I think are pretty low. You sent me a picture of that the other
Yes.
day.
Lowest in the
Uh,
majors, $3.
but hey, well they're owned by the beer company still, right? So they get their beer cheaper too.
I would assume so.
So it's a win-win for the fans all the way around.
Because you've got to be drunk by the third inning because you can't watch them play anymore. I'll have 6 beers here by the second inning. Thank you very much. There's not going to be any limit on that. God bless. All right. Excellent as always, Brian. I always appreciate your insight. Let me tell you at the third poll here, where do you think the Red Sox finish this year? Do you think they're going to sniff at a playoff spot?
No,
Mm.
no, this ain't gonna get any better.
Oh
This is
God.
the team.
Oh God. Yeah,
I'm
really.
sorry. I'm the truth teller here. This is the team.
You know, usually for people who don't listen, I'm the truth teller at the beginning of the year. Brian's like, "Oh, we're going to finish 20 games out of 500." I'm like, we're going to sniff at a place. We're going to sniff at it. And this year, Brian is absolutely right. I'm the one who's got the pie in the sky thinking, "Yeah, we're going to get that second wild card. Yeah, we are.
No,
Yeah, we are." No, no, we're
hey,
not.
no, I went in believing the hype, dude. I picked them to win the division.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
thought
got
they
to.
made the improvements last year, and then they made some improvements in the offseason, and
Well,
they
maybe if
got
we could
me.
trade for Aaron Judge.
What'll be nice though for the Red Sox really is, Bregman comes back, and I mean he was having a great season.
He was.
He picks up and finishes the year just like he started it. That'll give the team a lift, and he'll be able to hit that opt out and really cash in with somebody next year.
That'd be great. And then maybe if we're lucky, we can re-sign Giolito. That would be
Well, what they'll
wonderful.
do is then they'll go to Devers and say, "Hey, we really like you to play third base."
Yeah,
And he'd say, I'm a DH. I don't play in the field.
$300 million DH. Don't you fret. Don't you fret, buddy. Mm, that second shot went down really smooth. All right,
Good.
everybody. Thank you very much. That was Off the Rail Sports Podcast. If you could hit that like and subscribe, it means a lot. Leave some comments. We always appreciate it. And we'll see you soon on Off the Rails.